Come on back in here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Come on back in here. Oh, I got to send Buckeye the link. All right. All right. All right. All right. Can everybody hear me loud and clear? Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Can you hear me, brother?
Oh, you're loud, man. You're loud and crisp.
Oh, cool.
Sound like Johnny Cash. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey,
How you
man.
doing?
I don't think I've. This is the first time I felt this blessed this year.
Oh yeah.
I know we're just not even out of the first month, but what you did this morning, man, that was truly a blessing, and thank you for that.
Oh, absolutely. I love. Man, I grew up with probably some of the best storytellers in the world. Family, friends. My grandpa used to tell all kinds of stories, and I just love sharing stories and sharing life experiences, man. Love it.
Right.
And so,
It's so cool to do that, man. I mean, that was really, um, I think we can verify you didn't call me, didn't tell me you were going to do that.
no.
And you know what's really weird is I wished I would have kept it on, but I had a Johnny Cash shirt on this morning. I was drinking
So
my
what?
coffee. Listening to Johnny Cash, and um, was getting myself ready because after the live, we're going to go, to the Air Force Museum. And
Oh, cool.
I changed and thought I'd represent Creek Squad when I went.
Hey,
Got the
to
Creek
me,
Squad shirt on.
Creek Squad is the new Cash Squad, man.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Just the like you said this morning, man. What a blessing that was. This is for the people that's felt like that outcast, felt like that rebel at times, that black sheep.
Yeah.
Just because you when you go through things. I mean, already this year, me and you's talked about it. We both went through um, something already this year. That was something that was done to us, said about us, that was hurtful, just by different people. And
Oh,
the thing of it is, you just can't let it keep you there. You can't keep your mind focused on what that one individual said or done to hurt you, because there's so many people that support you, that love you, that need you.
oh
So
yeah.
you can't stay in that negative state.
You know what was hurtful to me this year? You know what was super hurtful? I'm gonna lay it out for all you guys. There's something that happened to me this year that was really hurtful, and I'm just gonna be honest with it. And this is what it was. My dad fell on his back, and he had some back issues.
Right,
That's what it was.
right.
That's what hurt me. What hurt me
Yeah,
was seeing my dad
exactly.
fall and seeing him in pain there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it's your yeah,
Anything else, I laugh in the devil's face.
exactly. Same way, man. I mean,
I spit in the devil's face.
unless it's
It does not bother me. Nothing, and
right,
nothing else is going to bother me. My father falling, and we didn't know if he was going to have a spinal cord injury. The pain on his face, and I've never seen him. He's the toughest joker ever. I've never seen him in that kind of pain. That got me. That shook me a little bit.
Right. When it's
And
your
I'm
friend.
not referring to
Yeah.
anybody, but Buckeye, I know that your family is very important to you, and that
Right.
and that and that you know, and thing words can hurt, but um, as far as anything else goes, I laugh at the devil's face, man. That stuff's funny to me.
Exactly.
$20. Hold on, just a second, bud. $20, dudes.
That is so awesome.
Christina, I apologize, dudettes. Christina, Renee, why? Take that $20 and buy some groceries with it, girl. No, I'm kidding. Thank you so much. It's crazy. Last night I went live and people were giving money, and today I went live. People were giving money. How blessed is one
Right.
chubby old country boy to get on live and make money?
Right.
I I don't know why, man. But guys, I know why. Because y'all support. You got my back, I am so grateful for that. I really, I don't even know how to put it in words. I'm never when somebody gives me money or something, it just kind of, I, I feel, I feel almost guilty, and I don't
Right.
want to do that. And I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But go ahead. Oh yeah, and real quick, sorry, Buck. I apologize. I'm gonna get all
No,
this out of the way. So,
you're good. Go ahead.
um, the feller is in here who won the $50 for the promotion that I was running. Whoever puts the most comments before the song drops, they will get $50. Um, so he said that he was working today, but he's going to jump into live when he can. That's why I'm going to do it because time is of the essence. So the feller who won the $50 Johnny Cash father before him worldwide international promotion of Middle Tennessee in Ohio. That's what it's called. That's the official name, by the way. Um, the one who won that, the fellow who won that, I have no idea who this is. Um, as far as in real life, I have no idea who this is. But thank you for showing up. He shared it. He was a huge supporter that came out of the blue, which is amazing. I don't know if it was for the $50, but hey, I appreciate it anyway. Guys, promotion for music is a standard thing across the board. I don't have
Yeah.
3 million subscribers like Upchurch. Everything I share is not going to get millions of views. However, me and I know a lot of people in the industry. I know a lot of people, um, independent artists on Facebook, on YouTube. They do promotions. They give out shirts. They give out hats. Hey, share this. The fifth one to share it will get a free shirt from me. I'll mail it to you. Yada yada yada. I don't have merch yet. Maybe one day we will make some merch. However, $50 can go a long way. Maybe not as long as it used to. So I decided to give away money. Standard practice across the board. Guess what? In no way, shape, or form this was rigged. I started writing down who commented what, and whenever I got to this fella named Joe Blow, I literally tallied about 200, and then I knew by then, okay, it's a clear, it's a clear contest. Mr. Joe Blow, whoever that is, don't know what your real name is. He said he created a Cash App yesterday just for this. Joe Blow has won, and he's in here now. He has won the $50. Joe Blow, I hope you do something great with the money. Be a good steward of it, or buy something that you want to buy. Whatever you want to do, buddy. It's your money. I'm going to cash app you the money early next week when I get a chance. And enjoy it, man. Thank you. Thank you for showing up and showing out. And this guy was putting quotes from famous musicians. He was commenting everything. He was he was tagging everybody, and that's what it's about. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, let's see here, man. My For some reason my comments ain't scrolling this morning. Okay, so Joe Blow won the $50. There you go. He is in the comments. Groceries for my baby. Hey, If I was able to give you $50 or you win, you earned it. If I was able to let somebody get $50 for earning it and it gets them groceries for their family, hey, I'd probably send it to you anyway. God bless you. Thank you. Stay on the channel. We're going to have a lot of cool stuff. Groceries for that baby, diapers for that baby. Hey, that $50 is going to good use. All right, my man Buckeye. My mouth is sore after that. I apologize.
No, bro, you're good, and you know, congratulations to Joe. He's he gets in mine too. My comments, and like I said,
Yeah,
don't just came out of nowhere. You know, maybe he saw our stuff, and you know, appreciate him as I do all of you. And he even got in one of my other reactions. He's like, so you know, he said something about, so you haven't dropped the Southwind reaction yet, huh? And I was actually sitting there doing the editing and working on it to put it out because I'd already reacted to it. But man,
he's on it. Eh?
shout out to that guy, man. He you know, all you guys brighten my day. And when I see you, you know, either here on Instagram or man, honestly, it does. It brightens my day to see some of you, and some of the ones that came back that was on my other channel has came back, and it was like I reunited with a long lost friend again. And appreciate you so much for showing that love and support to both of us, and
Yeah,
with what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish. And
absolutely.
yeah, it's amazing. It really is. All of y'all are
Guys,
amazing.
I love the fact that y'all showed up for the song, but I'm just going to let you guys know something real quick. I appreciate 1,000,000%. When I put out a song, now there may be the occasional fun song or whatever. I'm country. I like trucks and women. Whatever, right? Okay, like we all have a fun song. We all have a good time. But when I put out a song, a lot of times it's going to be something deep. It's going to be about my family. It's going to be about something that inspires me. I have to be inspired to write things like that. So from this song, I wanted people to think about their family. I wanted them to think about their heritage, their father, who might have calluses on his hands from working hard, providing for them. That's what I wanted this song to be about. I didn't want it to be about any amazing vocals, although my wife is she's got a gift, man. I didn't want it to be about guitar slinging, and I didn't want it to be about all this stuff. That all that is fun, and that's well and good, and that's showmanship. And I love music. Music is a hobby of mine. It is something that I enjoy doing, and that's what is second. The message is first. The message, I wanted it to get to people, and I wanted it to convey Thanksgiving. I wanted to convey love. I wanted people to be happy about their heritage and the people before them that provided for them, who worked to their hands to the bone. You know what I mean? That's what I wanted. I wanted it to lift people up. And a lot of you guys showed up, and I really appreciate all the promotion and all that stuff. But that was more important to me, is the message and how it impacted people. Take care, Joe. Be back later. Have a good one. Stay warm. Love you, buddy. Get your hard work done. You made $50.
Yeah, thank you,
Um,
Joe.
he said, yeah, he was on it, didn't he? I saw he commented. He said,
Yeah,
"Where's Buckeye's reaction?" And I was like, "Chill, bro." I was like, "Buckeye
I
ain't
loved it,
obligated,
man.
guys." I
Yeah,
don't call Buckeye, and I don't go, "Hey, man, when you gonna react to my movie?" I d- he doesn't. He is not obligated. He is not
right.
obligated one bit to react to my stuff. Joe said, "Appreciate y'all. Chatty Bobby brought me to y'all." Oh, that's cool. Oh,
Oh,
Chad, man.
that's awesome. Yeah,
Chad's a good guy, man. He really
yeah,
is.
man. I've been trying to share a lot of his stuff,
He's cool.
and I can't wait to do a few reactions of his music. I reached out to him and say, "Hey, is it okay to react to it?" Because I do like to do that. You know, even though I don't. You know, I mean, you can't do that all the time. Of course, I'm not friends with a lot of artists on Instagram and here either. You know, but
Right.
I try to show love and support to people that inspire me. And after watching your interview with him, you know, that's where I first discovered him. Then I realized that he made a song with Upchurch, and
Yeah.
probably
I
done a
think he's
few.
got a
I
couple.
don't know, you know, but just just so in you know just try to show love to people, man. I mean, I mean, that's what's
That
so
guy,
inspiring about
that
the
guy, he told
yeah,
me, and if you go watch the interview, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
no,
that guy,
go ahead.
Chad is awesome, man. And we have a feature. I actually, before the Upchurch interview, I'd actually paid him for a feature before all this stuff. That's how cool he is. Like, I was nobody,
Right,
and I paid him for a feature, and I'm going to feature him. I haven't got around to it, but this is before the interview. This is before he let me interview him. He's just a great guy. And Chad has so many stories, man. He was actually on the phone. He was talking about it in the interview. He was on the phone with Jelly Roll, and he was help running his account, his Facebook, because Jelly Roll was starting to blow up years ago. He was on the
right,
phone with Jelly Roll. He would call him from prison, and he would give him encouragement. That's the kind of guy Chad is. His buddy went to prison.
yeah,
He would call him
right,
from prison, give him encouragement. They would talk in the prison, and Jelly Roll would sing song ideas to Chad over the cell phone, over the phone in prison. So
right.
yeah, that's the kind of guy Chad is. Great guy. Go ahead, bud.
Yeah, and you find that out about people when you see that, like an interview or like I said, these inspiring things that he started doing on Instagram. I've shared a few of those. I've shared them to my YouTube and to Instagram because it truly is inspiring. It really is, and I even like the ones where he says, you know what cranks my gears,
Oh, yeah.
what grinds my
Yeah.
gears. I love those too. But
Oh, he's
yeah,
hilarious, man.
right,
Chad's funny. And for somebody who has been around so many people and they have so many stories, man, it's really cool to know that guy. It's just
right,
cool. It's
yeah,
that somebody who has been around for as long as he's been around and done as much as he's done, that he's a good dude, and he's gonna he's got something about him that people like. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Magnetism, and just a positive guy.
right. And that's what I love, man. I mean, that's where you gravitate to. When you is to people like that. At least I do, anyway. Try
Right.
to stay out of like the negative stuff. We talked about that, and just like I said, man, if I went to get in my truck and you got a battery in there, and there's a negative and there's a positive. If
Right.
that positive cable ain't hooked up to run through that battery to start that truck, then I'm gonna sit there and go nowhere.
Yep.
I can sit there and pout about my life, my past, what someone has done to me or said to me
Right.
even this year. You got to move on with it, and just stay
Oh
on
yeah.
that positive, man. Hook that positive cable up, let them juices run through that battery to start your truck and move on. you know
What
um
up, Kurt?
yeah.
Captain Kurt's in here.
Oh, i can't
What up?
i can't see the I can't really see the comments, and but
Yeah, I'm sorry, bud.
howdy,
Captain
Kurt.
Kurt, watch the other live. I just went to Johnny Cash's gravesite and his house, and I was showing people what Johnny's the remains of Johnny's house looks like and his gravesite and stuff. Really cool stuff. I'll probably walk back up there and show you guys one last time at the end of this live, um, just for funsies. But
Yeah,
yeah, so go ahead, Buckeye, and you're right, 100%. Positivity, it moves things. Good
right,
things happen.
right.
You're gonna go. You got a positive connection to a battery in the car. That's a really cool analogy.
Well,
You're gonna move.
it's true. You ain't gonna go nowhere, man.
Right.
You could sit there just stuck in the road with your negativity, and everything else. And like I said, until you hook that cable up to the positive, you ain't going nowhere. And
Right.
I mean, it is so true. I mean, um, like I said, I mean, already starting out this year, you've already, we've had negative things done to us, and it was hurtful. But man, you got so many people that love you that depend on you, so you can't just sit there in your little, you know, and let that one negative person affect you until you forget about all of the good people that support you and love you. You know,
Absolutely.
you know, man, I appreciated it. I love, I enjoyed the song. I was laughing. You know, I, I love the fact that you shared photos and stuff about your family that you're proud of and your heritage, and it was amazing, man. It was funny. It was heart touching, all at the same
Yeah.
time. It had three or four different genres of music kind of mixed up in it, and like I said, it was this Drew being true to Drew doing what he do, you know. And
Hey, that's
hey, I
all I
love
can
it,
do, man. That's all I
you
can
know.
do.
Right?
It's just Drew drewing.
Yeah.
Drew was drewing and it got all over the place, man. It was messy. It was
Right.
Drew drewing.
Right. It was great, man. I really and I really enjoyed it. I mean, hey, it was like you said, man. It was you wasn't expecting it to be anything but yourself. It's along with some of your other songs. I remember the first one I saw was "I Got Your Six," and I rapped
Oh
it.
yeah.
It was on my old channel, and I didn't know. You never know. Who someone is or what they do in their life and what they've been through. And even that video was just Drew being Drew. When I seen you sling that guitar around your neck, and your glasses went flying off, and you didn't care. You left it in the video. I
Oh
was like,
dude.
this is
Drew drewing,
yeah,
man.
man.
Well, see not a lot of people know this. Unless you have been really into the rock scene in like the mid 2000s, but I used to play in a lot of metal bands. I'm gonna post a picture at one point. My band won an award at a talent show in like 2005, 2004, a long time ago. I've been doing this for a long time. I
Right,
just haven't been a front man very long, but I've been a guitar player for a long time and all that good stuff. And a lot of times back in the day, if you would go to a hardcore show or a heavy show, you had people on stage going wild and they were slinging the guitars. Like that's an old thing. I didn't,
right.
like a lot of people don't understand that, but
Oh yeah,
I,
that's been. I
we
remember
used to
the
do
first
that.
time I've seen that done was at Iron Maiden concert back in the
Right.
'80s.
Yeah. Long
You
time
know,
ago. Yeah.
like everybody was doing it then.
Right.
You
We
know,
used to do that. It just makes the show more fun. It's just, you got energy. I've seen a lot. I have seen a lot of bands. The Chariot, if you've never heard of the Chariot, now they're really hardcore, really heavy
yeah,
music, but they're a Christian band. But they're called the Chariot, and they are super heavy, and they go wild, dude. I've seen some crazy stuff at show. I saw a dude climbing the rafters like 15 feet up in the air, and so like I came from that era of rocking out.
right,
And
yeah,
then later on in life, I mellowed down, and so I combine it with this country. And then at the same time, I love the low end in the music. I love the low end, the bass of a rap song.
right.
Yeah.
Same,
So
same here, man. I mean, to be honest with you, I am so thankful for my taste in music. Always have been because I can just about listen to anything. And to
right,
me, I compare it to fishing. There's guys that just do nothing but bass fish. There's guys that do nothing but catfish. Deep deep sea fish. There's all kinds of different fishing. There's all kinds of different ways to fish and species of fish. And I
right.
kind of compare that to music,
Yeah,
because it doesn't matter to me if I'm fishing in a creek, a pond, on a boat, what
right.
species of fish. Man, I just love to fish. And it's the same way with music. If it's something that I can listen to, and lot of people can't do that. I mean, and don't enjoy it. Don't enjoy heavy metal. A lot of people don't. Some of my close friends do, but back in the day, because my brother's a drummer, and we used to run to the Hare Arena and see all the concerts. Man, I knew a guy that
Right.
worked with security would let us in there. We'd hop that rail and be right there. Because I've always had a phobia about crowds. It's not that I don't want to be around people; it's just I don't want to be around stupid people. And man,
I like that.
and it's so true, man. It's so true, and it's. But we would jump that rail and be right there. And like I said, I've had water thrown on me by Ozzy Osbourne. I've been
Mm,
to rock concerts, metal, country, rap, and I didn't care, man. I'd always throw on what I had on, and I would go. And sometimes it was intentionally, like wearing a Run DMC T-shirt
Wow.
with a leather jacket with a jean vest over it that had Metallica on it with a pair of cowboy boots and a cowboy hat. I mean, I just didn't care. I loved my mixtape back then. I'd put that in. My buddies would be like, "Man, I don't want to listen to." They called it crap instead of rap. But hey, I was just thankful that I can listen to it. I can listen to music without any lyrics at all, and just listen to the instruments, or I can listen to straight up a cappella, without any
Right.
type of instruments at all, man. And
Oh,
just
dude, I remember in music class in high school, and I mean, this isn't really my forte now, but I remember I had a music class in college too. But a music class in high school, I remember them, obviously Mozart and Beethoven and all the classics. And I'm like, oh gosh, here we go with you know, but then, Mozart, dude, some of his stuff was wow. It was wicked.
oh yeah, it was. I
Like
mean,
the
you
song he
could
wrote
have
about his
really,
death. He wrote a
yeah,
song about his death, his own death. It was
right.
really, really, it's really interesting, man. The dark tones. Um,
People just
let's
don't know
see.
what they're missing out, man. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine every day of your life all you ate was chicken nuggets? You know what I
Exactly.
mean? And there's so much other varieties of food to eat. That's I use that as an analogy because of my granddaughter. I said, man, there's so much good food out there. What she always wants chicken nuggets. You know,
Right, right.
and to where I just tease her and call her a little nugget head. But hey, man,
That's funny.
it's true. It's music is like food, man. It's like until you try it, you don't know what it tastes like. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, yeah, man. I mean, I was always thankful, for and what I love the most is people introducing me to new stuff and me introducing them to things.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, give this a listen. Because there's been several times that I've listened to something that when the first time I listened to it, I was like, man, I don't quite like that. But then the
Yeah.
more I listened to it, the more I was like,
Right.
I started bobbing my head to it, and,
Yeah. Uh,
and
Alan Carter sent $5. Thank you, bro. You
Alan's a
ain't got to
dude.
do that, man. Guys, I was supposed to be giving y'all money. Y'all give me. I mean, I've already earned my promotional money back. Come on now.
Hey, that guy is a genuinely good
Good
guy,
guy, ain't he?
man.
Good guy,
You
ain't he?
know,
He said, y'all are awesome. Looking forward to meeting you fellas in a few months. Hey,
yeah,
we're gonna have a good time, man. It's gonna be
right.
a creaker fest, dude. Upchurch show coming in hot,
You,
baby.
you,
So,
you know, yeah. Go ahead. Read
oh,
read
sorry.
more of the
Go.
read more of the comments because I can't. Like I
Okay.
said, I can't see them.
Yeah, let me do that.
You want to forget about the Creekers?
Hey, man, I love reading comments. I'm about the people.
Me too. Same way. I
Christina,
mean,
girl, same. Kelly is one of those people who, when somebody sends me music, there's not a
yeah,
lot that I haven't heard, but Kelly sent me something the other day and she said, I kind of like this vibe. This is kind of, it kind of reminds me of what you're going for sometimes. And she sent it to me and I was like, holy crap, it was like
right,
soul, nothing but pure soul. And I mean, I've listened to a lot of stuff, but there's always something you haven't heard, And I
right.
listened to it and
Oh yeah,
I've heard the person before, but I never heard that song and I was like, good grief, man. And it
right.
kind of influenced me, man, because I love that stuff. Buckeye, a lot of people out there, like you said, they just like chicken nuggets. And so
Exactly, brother.
when the chicken nugget music don't come out, they think they think, oh my gosh, this isn't my chicken nugget music. What am I
Right.
going to do? And
Yeah,
that's why people like Upchurch exist, and he started his own lane. He's actually got a
man.
song called My Own Lane.
Exactly.
Um, I with my music, and I know there's three genres. Ambro and Misty, I'm gonna shout her out. She had a really cool reaction because she gets it. She was like watching it, and she's like, "Oh wow, there's country and soul, and then
Right.
all of a sudden there's rap. All of a sudden
Right.
there's rock." And she was like, "In one song, that's crazy." So it's not about making a chicken nugget song.
Right.
It's about making a song that I can look back at and be like, I really tried to make it original. And I
Hey,
try to convey a message
yeah.
that means something. It's not throwaway music in the sense of it has deep meaning and value, and it was thought about, worked on, planned. It wasn't something where a lot of these people, man, I'm not trying to shout anybody out or whatever. There's nothing wrong with not being musically inclined, but I played almost everything in that whole song, um, except for like one part, I think, guitar part. But there's nothing wrong with downloading beats or just getting beats from somebody. That's fine. A lot of people can't produce, they can't play their own stuff. But when you down somebody who can, even when you can't, it's kind of weird to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying
Right.
anybody else is doing that, but what I'm saying is I've always liked real instruments in my music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's just the lane I'm going to take. You know, that's just what I'm going to do. Um, let's see who's in here. Da, 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 da. Yeah, and I see. You know, you see. Sometimes I think people don't see the comments, and maybe some of these other people don't look at them. I look at all the comments surrounding involving me and stuff. So,
Yeah.
I see what's going on, and I observe. I'm an observer, man. I'm a talker sometimes on here about the Lord, but I'm an observer, man. I observe. I let people show their colors, man.
Exactly. I mean, I've always said that you all you got to do is sit back and observe.
Oh
I've
yeah,
posted it. You know, there was a one website. Of course, I forgot the name of it, but I used to post some of my thoughts out to it, and they was using them as like um, like memes. They would make like a picture to it and stuff like that, and I quit doing it. I was like, man, I should save some of these things for myself because I came up
right,
with, it, you know. But man, I just love sharing and spreading it. I don't care if I don't, don't get paid for anything. I don't do this for to get paid for and or try
right,
to be something fake or false. I mean, it's just like I was saying. I mean, it. If I can react to something, and doesn't matter what it is, and react to some independent artists and someone come and they can see their music. I've had that happen. And
right.
I think it's so cool that works that way to get someone listening to someone else's music that's in another country, or something like that. Man, you've done your job spreading the music,
Right.
you know. But
And this song is one of those songs, man, that you got to digest. You'll listen to it one
right,
day, and you're like, okay. Then you'll go back the next day, and you'll be like, oh, he said, yada yada da 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 da. Da.
right, right,
And then you'll go back the next day, and you'll be like, oh, he said, you'll never change me, rearrange me. Only God can save me. I didn't understand what
right.
that meant. And then it's one of those songs that if you put a lot in it, I like music where um I mean, like Upchurch's music. You can go to Upchurch's music and you can listen to it one time and you listen to it another time, like, oh, I didn't know that's what he meant.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that
And
kind of stuff, man.
it's funny that you say that because my son is the reason why um, I even heard of or found his music in the first place. And me and him are together a lot, and sometimes it's daily, me and my son, and it's amazing. Just looking at like Pond Creek Road, the Creeker albums, and I can get into that because I love metal, and I've always liked rap, but the rap thing has just gotten into a place where I can't relate to that. I don't like that.
Yeah,
I'm not a gang banger. I don't womanize and this, that, and the other, and all
right.
that stuff. But the more you listen to his rap music, you realize how much of a genius the guy is.
Oh
And
yeah,
and and some of them are just like I heard they were just in one take, you know. And
it's crazy.
yeah, my son's been playing a lot of stuff that I hadn't even heard.
Yeah.
He knows so much about that music, um, and why it was written and why it was done and all that stuff, and it amazes me, man. I mean, we sit there and it's like, listen, man. I mean, it just and there's some jaw dropping moments with some of the stuff he comes up with,
Oh yeah.
and it's so deep.
Oh,
Some
he's
of it,
so dude. That guy's brain. Yeah, it's crazy. Um, somebody said, Kelly said, Church don't waste a line. He don't.
No.
Solitaire said HG Southern Indiana. What up, Southern Indiana in the house? Holla girl. What up? I've noticed people through the years that be that way. Those
Yeah.
Kelly. We don't need no media experience. Do you think? HB Louisiana, big ups, thumb up. HB Louisiana was Dirty South Creeker. Louisiana's an interesting place, bro. Very interesting. Wayne's my road dog. I love Wayne.
Yeah.
Buckeye Creeker. He said Buckeye Creeker is spot on. And he always.
Oh no, not always, but with a lot of things, yeah, but some things not, But I'm spot on, man. I got my Buckeye mug, drinking my coffee with some creakers. But
Right. Kelly said, rumor has it he come from the past stars. That's interesting. I know he talks
man,
about that. It's pretty crazy.
yeah, it does because I don't know how many times I've heard things and you know, and I'm not the only one. I've read some of the comments and some of the songs. And man, there's so many people that can relate to the stuff. It's almost like they were talking about your life, or you wrote that, or you
Right.
hear a song that takes you back to a special place and a special moment in your life, and that you forgot about, and make you relive it all over again. And
Oh
that
yeah.
that is so powerful, man. It was like a it was like Doc Brown took you back in time, with the time machine and the DeLorean, and and it makes you relive that all over again. And
Yeah.
that's what it's so
Music
awesome.
music is one of those rare things besides drugs that can transport you to a different place.
Exactly, or a dream or something.
Right. Memories. Yeah. It's
It's
very powerful.
it's a drug that I'm addicted to. I'm not addicted to no other drug,
Right.
but it's
Well,
a
man,
you know
I've had people on here a long time. I'm going to read a couple of comments that really got to me from the video I have on my
yeah,
computer. I'm going to
yeah,
read a
you
couple
go
of
ahead.
comments real quick. And that really got to me, man. I think these people, their story of their family heritage needs to be told. At least some of it. You know what I mean? There's a woman on here, man, and she really had a crazy, like, a wild story, man. It was really cool. Yeah, there's been a lot of people reach out to me. Somebody from school that he's trying to get into the music thing, and I've been trying to help him kind of link him up with people and stuff. And I got a feature for him from another friend. He messaged me. He's like, "Dude, I wish I could write like that. Those lyrics are like unique and deep." He's like, "I wish I could write like that." And I was like, "Well," he's like, "I'm kind of a battle rapper type." And I said, "Well, bro, I said, write something down, and if you want your original flow, you can do that, and like the verses and stuff. But if you want hooks, just kind of, I don't know how to explain it, man. To write lyrics that you try to write that you never heard before, it's kind of like, I guess I just watch a lot of different old stuff, and I think about stuff on my for this song. I thought about things on my family's land and things around me that I guess I didn't pull it from somewhere else, you
Right,
know, like the lyrics DNA in the wind, uh soul in the soul, DNA in the wind. Um I'd go up to my grandfather's house that has passed away almost every day. And there's still things at his house, like he has old tractors, old tools that he used. He actually had his hands on and he
right,
touched
exactly,
and he walked
right,
there. Just like Johnny Cash is buried right up here.
right,
His DNA in the soul and the wind. It's something that kind of got me thinking. I'm walking and I'm touching and I'm sitting in the same spots that my grandfather sat
right, yeah,
and things like that. I try to pull lyrics from personal experience, because that's where you're going to find your originality in music. You're not going to find your originality trying to be Upchurch or trying to be Johnny Cash or
right,
trying to be Elvis, because that's their life. They live their life. You pulling your personal experience from your family or your grandfather, that's you living your life.
Exactly.
And we're all one of a kind. We all got a different fingerprint.
Right.
We were made
Yeah.
unique.
That's one of the things that I appreciated about it, is this is getting a glimpse into um what you're about, you know what I mean? And seeing your putting your grandfather in there and your dad and
Right.
family, I mean it reminded me of, some things about my grandpa,
Right.
I didn't have my dad, but I was thankful that the Lord brought me full circle with being able to forgive him, and be a part of leading him to the Lord before he passed away.
That's
Because
incredible.
he saw, the things that were done to me, and I could have hated him, you know, um, and I don't expect my brother and my sister to forgive him like I did because um, they're different, and their experiences were different, and but man, I did. I forgave him for that, for what was done, and now, what was done in this lifetime was temporal. I'm gonna get to spend eternity with my father, and
Right.
when I start thinking about that, it man, it brings me to tears,
Oh yeah.
here on this life because when I get there, we ain't gonna have no tears,
Right.
and God's gonna wipe all the tears from our eyes, and we're
I've
gonna feel
watched.
no more pain, no more separation, no more,
Right.
despair.
I That's incredible that you got to do that because that's one thing in heaven that he's gonna. You know what he's gonna say? He's gonna say, "Oh my gosh, I wish I would have done things so differently. You were so right. Thank you. Pray." You're gonna get a big old hug from that man because he's gonna say, "I could imagine being somewhere else." Here's the thing. I watched a lot of near death experience stories because I don't they get me in my soul. If you've ever
Right.
watched near death experiences stories, go look up. There's a series called I Survived Back
Yeah.
and Beyond. I
Yeah.
Survived
I've seen some of those, but
Beyond and Back.
you know,
There's a guy who was a neurosurgeon. He was one of the smartest men in the country. You have to be really smart to be a neurosurgeon. He was a neurosurgeon. He he contracted meningitis or something, and he was like dying. Like he got put in a coma, and he almost didn't make it. He barely made it, and he said he was an atheist, and all this stuff. And if you go watch some of these near death experiences, it's very common that these people, when they start drifting toward what they describe as heaven, it's very interesting that all of them say um, God asked them, do you want to, some of them, do you want to go back? It's not your time yet. You want to go back? Or if one guy said that he heard a booming voice and it sounded like thunder. And he said, if you look at me, you can't go back. But he said, you can go back if you choose. And guess what happened? This person told him, uh, or one person told him, uh, it's not your, or well, no, that was a different one. This guy said, he remembered his family, but this one guy said, the neurosurgeon, I believe, he said that they were telling him he had to go back, and he said, I don't want to go back. He said, please don't make me go back. He said, I don't want to be there. He looked, even with his family. He said, I don't want to go back. He said, please don't make me, because the place that he went was nothing but pure love. He said he's never, he said, he wasn't an atheist anymore. And he
right,
realized
right,
in a flash, he said, I didn't have to guess. I knew it was God. I knew it was heaven. And he said, I begged him not to let me go back. And he said, whenever I came back and I woke up from my coma, he said, I was sick to my stomach. He said, I was upset, which is a really weird thing to think about. But this is how good heaven is. This is how good it is.
right, exactly.
He was upset
Um,
that he was back for days. And I remember him saying that, and I just couldn't fathom. being upset that you were back with your family. He said that
Um,
was the only good part about it, that he was with his family, but he said being back was like literally hell compared to where he was at. And he said immediately he knew it was all true.
well, that's the thing about it is, and my wife knows this. My mother knew it because she was there. Um, there's just a few people that know this because um, you don't want people to think that you're nuts or you're crazy, but there's a reason why Buckeye is the way he is today. Is
Right.
because I experienced that. You know, not just once, but a couple times. At different times of my life, and you know how they talk about some type of tunnel or something like that,
Right.
a bright light. It's true, and once you experience that, your entire life changes. You know, and I will tell this.
Go ahead.
I told it to someone on the phone, that's in here watching now, and uh, it is true. I mean, I was hanging out with some of my buddies, was back there having a bonfire down by the creek, and it was back when I was a teenager, and I was partying and all them things, and I was starting to dabble into some things that I knew I shouldn't have been doing, and then I had somebody give me these, we was just back there hanging out, and I thought they were like pot seeds, but they were, come to find out it was pretty much, pure strychnine, and
Good Lord.
then we was back there hanging out, and he was just like, "Man, how many of these did you take?" And he's like, "Dude, you shouldn't have done that," He started freaking out, and I tried to make myself throw up, you know, and it was man, I left. I just felt like something told me I should leave where I was at, and I just kind of wandered off, and everybody was wondering where I went. They thought I was still puking in the woods, and someone come check on me, and they couldn't find me. All I knew is something told me to leave, and man,
Wow.
I tried to follow the trail and get to where I was at, get back home, and and I didn't make it. I I started feeling weak. I started feeling sick, and eventually I made it to the street that was right in front of the building that we lived in, and I collapsed in the road, and I couldn't move anymore. I was paralyzed. I couldn't move my fingers. I couldn't even open my mouth to speak. I was pretty much laying there, and I can't believe I'm even telling this. I mean,
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I was laying
It's
in the
important.
street,
Y'all
and
listen.
and I was look. All I could do is look up, and I could see literally every star in the sky. And like I said, I couldn't speak. I couldn't say anything. I couldn't move. And I thought, my God, I'm going to lay here and I'm going to die. So I'm going to come by, run me over. And all I could do was just think. I couldn't say anything, but I thought, Lord, if you're real up there somewhere, because I've been pushed to go to church. I've been, judged, put down, laughed at, all them things, man. I hated church. But, and this is why we're all here right now. A lot of us has experienced those things, you know. But I told the Lord, if you're real, save me. Come in my life. Don't let me die here. I promise I'll never touch anything that anybody's tried to give me ever again. And I got enough strength, to get up. And the lady that lived right next door to us was like a second mom. I knew my mother wasn't home, but I made it to the door and collapsed on her porch, and that's the last thing I remember. The next
Wow.
thing I remember, I woke up in the hospital, and with my mom and another one, another woman that I considered my second mom. I always claimed people as my family that really weren't. They treated me that way. But I laid there in in the bed, and when I woke up, my mom and her was there, and I can hear them praying. I can hear them praying before I woke up. And when I woke up, I found out that they had pumped my stomach. You know, I was um, I was pretty much just giving up. They said, there's he's no longer has any brain function, this, that, and the other.
Oh
Not
my
even
gosh.
hardly even breathing, and there's nothing else they could do. But when I woke up, there was mom, there was Jenna, um, dear woman. I could hear them praying, and ever since then, brother, this is the truth. God knows, I've never touched another drug since. I don't have a prescription bottle. I won't. I don't trust what people give me, and
Right.
um, and it forever changed my life. Did I live a perfect life after that? No. I mean, I moved to Florida. Um, you know, a- After those things happened, I started thinking, man, I should quit hanging around some of these. And I was into a lot of trouble, got into a lot of fights. Couldn't stand a bully. And I never will forget it, man. How the Lord came into my life at that moment and changed it. And but I never will forget, man. I was living in Florida with my dad because I thought if I got away from these, some of my friends, and not anything towards them. I loved them, but I knew I had to get away from them. I moved to Florida, lived there for like 2.5 years, and all of a sudden, I mean, things were going great. I was working, construction with dad around in Orlando around Disney World, and I had it made working 12, 16-hour days. Had a big fat paycheck, and man, I thought life was good, but all of a sudden I started feeling this pulling, to come back, you know, home. Of course, I miss mom, but and I had a pulling like I'd never felt before to come back home, and I don't know why, but I did. I left. I came back home, you know, but I started hanging around my old buddies. Started, I had 2 tickets. I was going to go to a Metallica concert. We bought tickets, and I was so hyped up to go, but the Lord had a different plan for my life. He honestly did. Mom started asking me to go to church. I didn't want to go. Man, I had long hair, Megadeth t-shirts, holes in my jeans. I tried to make
Right.
every excuse there was, but I went with my mother,
Sure.
and I give my life to the Lord completely. You know, um, and He forever. It was, hey, I'm gonna, thank you for getting me up and helping me. And then I started forgetting about what He did for me in the middle of that street. You know what I mean? When He saved me, and
Right.
this time it was different. You know, and that's where I met my wife at. You know, I met her there. Never will forget that either. And it's forever changed my life, the direction of my life, my path that I was on. And I just thought I'd share that. I mean, because it's a true story with Buckeye.
Oh,
It's completely true.
you
And that's the
you
thing about it, man. When you experience the Lord, when you hear His voice, you know, and it
yeah.
was just like, hey, I'm not done with you. I'm not done with you. Your heart ain't right. I'm gonna send you back to where you can help other people. And
Yeah.
people that were
Yeah.
like me, that were shunned, the outcasts, the uh, the ones that didn't believe in, that were confused. And when the Lord opens your eyes to things and you experience things in your life, um,
Man,
man, it forever changes you.
you
Because
can't forget it.
no matter what anybody says, man, it can never make you doubt it. It can never make you doubt your faith and your walk and your experiences with the Lord. You know,
Buckeye, you got me there for a second. I thought I might have to excuse myself, man. That was thank you.
and thank you.
Thank you.
And I couldn't
Thank
go
you.
without without telling these things. I mean, this is what
Well,
this is
because
for,
when you've
you
experienced
know.
it, man, it's a feeling. It's unimaginable. It's
No, nothing,
unparalleled, and
nothing. No
you
drug,
know,
no alcohol, no anything.
right.
Taste is good. That's why it says, "Taste and see that the Lord is good." And when you taste Him, man, like I've told people, He took my old stone heart, pulled it out of my chest, did surgery on it, stuck it back in, and when He did, my whole train of thought changed. My way I think changes, and and it forever humbles you as a person. It makes you want to help people. I mean, then you
Yeah.
start realizing that every aspect of your life was in the Lord's hands. Because I was
It,
wondering what that pulling was all about. Then come to find out my wife was praying that the Lord sent someone into her life. And I joke with her all the time. I didn't know it at the time, but when she told me that, and this was like years later, you know, I was like, wow, that's why I was experiencing that pulling like that. you know. And I tell her all the time. I said, I joke with her. I said, I'm sorry. This is what you got to your answer of prayer.
no,
Maybe you should pray harder next time.
maybe
I just
maybe
love to
you
joke
said
about it.
maybe you said the wrong words, or no. I'm just kidding. That's so funny. That sounds like something I would say to my wife. This
Yeah,
lady here, she said Savannah, Savannah 65. I'm sorry,
yeah,
her name is in really small letters. She said
yeah,
it. Buckeye Creeker, I understand, especially after my car accident.
yeah. You do.
Yeah, when
When
you
when
when
you
you when you feel it, and you know,
when you
and
experience that,
you don't forget. It's
you
something
know,
that you can't forget. Even if you do things you want to do and you sin. I mean, we all sin, but even whenever you kind of you take a blind eye to the things that you know of Christ. Even
right?
when you do that, you don't forget it. You don't
No,
forget it. You just get lost in your own
no.
thing.
And
Joe
sometimes,
Norman.
yeah. Go
Sorry,
ahead.
real quick. Joe Norman said, uh, Kelly, I think me and Buckeye got some similar stories. See, like it's so crazy because in your story, now, I don't have a story like that. I have a different story that where mine was I had debilitating anxiety and depression at one point, and that's a really interesting story too. I could tell that some other time. But in your story, just like in the doctor's story, the neurosurgeon's story, medicine, earthly medicine. He is a doctor. He was a doctor. He was a scientist.
Right.
And he said himself, he said, "I'm a scientist." But he said, "I am a scientist that believes in God." Now, he
Yeah.
said,
Right.
when stuff just like your story, you were supposed to be brain dead, and if you came back, you wasn't gonna be able to be normal and all that stuff. The same thing happened to him. They said that he should have been a vegetable if he came back. Now, how do you explain this? And, there is a
Yeah.
lot of things about science. I love science. There are a lot of things about science or about life that science can't explain. But when it comes to this, when it comes to everything we know about the human body, over however many hundreds or thousands of years, modern medicine, 100 or so years, 100 or 300 years. When it comes to modern medicine and everything we know and we can explain about the body, there are circumstances where people have been without oxygen to the brain for 30 minutes and then they wake up.
Right.
And if you don't have oxygen to the brain, if you stop breathing after about, I think, 10 minutes or 8 minutes or something like that, I'm actually certified through the state because I'm a caregiver part time. On the side, I do the login thing or whatever. But like, um, I'm certified, and I believe it's 8 minutes to 10 minutes. You can expect there to be permanent brain damage if there's no oxygen.
Right.
Maybe 4 minutes is where it starts. 4 minutes is where it starts. People start losing brain functions and organs and stuff like that. But there is literally they cut it off at like 8 to 10 minutes. Like if you don't have oxygen, if you're not breathing for 8 to 10 minutes, you're probably going to be a vegetable or brain dead, or what I'm saying, you're going to lose a lot of brain function. You're going to have a lot of brain damage. And there's people that it's documented. There's several cases that the Catholic Church actually had to go in and declared a miracle
Right.
because there's no explanation why people were out for 45 minutes and then they come back and then they're fine.
Right.
Why people have they've been in the morgue, they've been put in the morgue, and then they wake up an hour
Right.
later. Yeah, there's insane stories out there. So, if you're a scientist and you believe everything science divulges, my question to you is, why do these things happen? I believe
Right.
science is wonderful, and I believe there's a lot of things that we can prove or disprove. And then I believe there's things that we're never going to be able to disprove
Right.
because they're of a spiritual essence. They're not of this world.
Right. They're not. And
Yeah.
and they a lot of people can deny things, but you know, when you experience something that you will never ever deny that. You know,
Mm-mm.
when you experience God's love, or He heals you, or He brings you back, or you hear His voice, you know to obey that voice next time you hear it. And I don't know how many times in my life, and it's not just one experience; it's many. You know, um, that you knew it was nothing but the Lord.
Right.
Just
Oh
like
my
you said.
goodness. Listen
Yeah.
to this, Buckeye. Did you
Yeah.
know this? Did you know this? Libby. The Libby. You know Libby.
Yes,
Such a
sir.
sweet soul.
Wonderful, wonderful
She
person.
said, she just said that I did not know this. Libby, God, prayers to you. God bless you. What a strong person. She said, I've been paralyzed for 37 years from my car accident when I was 18. God
Well,
saved my life that day. I
well,
didn't know that. I didn't know that.
no, I didn't either. That's why, these
Oh my
stories need to be
goodness.
told. These comments need to be read, because all of us at one time has experienced things like this. And
Right.
who are we? We don't. I mean, sometimes I wonder, who am I, Lord, that you would spare my life, that you would heal
Right.
my body, that you would take care of my needs. Because at times, you just don't. You feel so unworthy of
Right.
the Lord helping you because of the things that you've done,
Well,
or
when you
said, or
realize what
at
you are,
moments gotten mad. You know,
right, right. When you realize what you are, and what that is you are a creature of, well, we're okay. Not everybody's wicked, okay, in a sense of serial killer, but you are a
right?
creature
Exactly.
of, you are a creature of depravity as far as you like things of the flesh, you like carnal things, and you're very feeble minded, and people are just like that. All of us are, a lot of us are. So when you realize what you are, and then when you meet something that when you if you've had an experience with God or Christ and you meet something that amazing and you know what that is, you know what that being is made of, and then you understand what you're made of. You're very
Right.
feeble, and a lot of us think that we're just Hulk. We're just, we're rock solid and we'll never do this and we'll never do that. A lot of us think that, but then guess what? We can't even see the future. We can't even see tomorrow. We don't even know what tomorrow holds.
Right.
We have no
Exactly.
control.
Exactly.
We are so weak that we could literally die tomorrow
Right.
from something minor. That's whenever you realize, oh my gosh, I'm not, I'm not this
Bulletproof, man.
amazing being
Ex-
of immortality. You know what I'm saying? Um,
exactly. And it
Libby,
does.
I'm sorry, Buckeye.
No,
Libby,
go ahead.
God, I'll forget that. Libby, God bless you. I did not know that you were paralyzed. Thank you for sharing that. I feel like you should have won the $50. No offense, Joe. Um, uh, uh, wow. And look, listen to this real quick. Listen to the positivity in her statement. I've been paralyzed for 37 years. I can't fathom that in my life.
No, no.
I don't, I guess it would only be God that would have me live that life because I couldn't do it emotionally. I cannot imagine being paralyzed for 37 years from my car accident when I was 18. Now listen to this. Listen to this positivity. She's giving thanks to God out of that circumstance. Take a lesson from
Exactly.
Libby.
Exactly.
Everybody needs to take a lesson from Libby.
Right.
She
Exactly.
said, God saved my life that day. You know what she could say? She could say, I can't stand God. I've been paralyzed for 37 years.
Could have blamed him. I
Could have
mean,
blamed him. Could have said, I'm not been able to do this. I'm not been able to do that. But instead, she gave thanks. God saved my life that day. What's your excuse? What's your excuse?
Exactly. Like I said, I laid there paralyzed in the road. I was literally paralyzed in the street until I looked up and I asked God to come in my life. And me and D Libby,
That gets
what
me
an
fired up,
amazing
man.
person. Exactly. What an amazing person. Every day, every time I've ever seen her, showing love, showing positivity, commenting on people's stuff. And you didn't know she was like that.
I had
And
no idea.
you want to whine and cry, and, and people want to whine and cry, hate each other, hate God, blame God. Man, you just touched me to tears. You moved me right here.
It's got me, but I'm trying to keep it together. But it's
Man, I
got me.
can't.
It got me.
I can't because man, it's just like hearing a guy
You're
spit
good,
out.
Bubba. We let it. You do whatever Buckeye does. We love you, bud.
Man, hearing a guy spit out some negativity one morning. I mean, as soon as he came into work, just negative, And I try to be a positive mind person every day of my life. I honestly do. Even though negativity comes at you, even though you face it and things happen, you know, um, just hearing that complaining and stuff, and here I'm walking down. Um, I was I had to leave the office and went out, and I was coming back, and I ran into this guy. I came around the corner, and he was in a wheelchair. He's a black guy, and he had a cross around his neck, and he had one leg. I said, "How you doing today, sir?" And he said, "Man, I'm blessed."
It's great.
I mean, honestly, didn't blame God for losing his leg or anything he'd been through, you
Yeah.
know. But here, this guy goes to church every Sunday, and he's one of the most negative minded people I've ever been around. I
Yep.
mean, honestly,
I've seen it. I've seen it. Yep.
I mean, even though, it's like, hey, I'm a since,
Ugh.
like, yeah, no matter how they win, man, they won. I come into work, he comes in a few hours after I do, and he's like, "Man, did you see that game?" I was like, "Yeah, we won." He's like, "Man, they almost lost that." I was like, "That was terrible." And I was like, "But we won." You know what I mean? And that's
Right.
the way it should be,
Exactly. Exactly.
And it's like, wait a minute, man, you're coming in Monday morning telling me about this. You went to church, but you know what? Church doesn't save you, man.
No, 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 no,
I've been
not at
around
all.
people all of my life. Church does not save you.
No.
It does not make you anything. Like I said, you can walk into, man, I can walk in, let's say, down the, I can walk into a garage somewhere where they work on vehicles, you know. Um, but just because I walked in that garage don't make me a mechanic, you know. Or if I walked in the guitar center, you know, don't make me the best guitarist ever in the world, you know. And it's so true, man. I mean, you could find
God.
God anywhere. You can find him in the middle of the street. I don't care if you've never been to church in your life. You
Right.
hear that voice, man. You are so in tune to that voice sometimes. And this is amazing, man. From Johnny Cash to someone that's spreading so much love and positivity here on when everything is a total cesspool, when everything is just so terrible sometimes, the negativity and
Yeah.
the hating and the making fun of people, making fun of their looks and their appearance or trashing a song, I mean, not
Wow.
everybody's gonna like every artist, man, but it's like, man, could man, this is amazing to me.
I like
You
it.
know,
I love it.
you can't let them people stop you.
Oh man.
At the end of the day, then people don't pay your bills, they don't sleep in your bed, and they don't love you. you know.
Oh, dude,
So if I
I
come
yeah.
home to negativity, man, and lash out at my wife, lash out at my
Uh,
dog, my kids, and be a miserable person full of negativity and
oh
hatred,
yeah.
you know.
Well, there's a
Um,
lot of some people, it's just the way they this is the way they roll, and there's a lot of little man syndrome out there,
man,
and
there's a
to
lot of
whom it may
jealousy, and
concern, I
you know,
I do me, man. I do me, and
yeah,
God's got me. I got a hey,
man,
I got a beautiful wife who loves me. I got a great job that I love. How many people can say they
right,
love what they do for a living? I love what I do.
exactly,
I'm a
you know,
caregiver for guys who are mentally ill, and I love those guys. And also I work, I do a little family work on the side with my, logging business and all that. I love the Lord. I know where I'm going when I die. I got to
right,
interview one of the biggest independent artists in the world and develop a friendship with him.
right,
I mean, and I got to have 10,000 followers on here, and we're getting on here and we're affecting people for Christ.
right, exactly.
I mean, is there anything that is going to slow me down like that? Oh, I don't even want to talk about it. It cracks me up.
Exactly.
It's
You're
laughable.
gonna let one person's negative
Oh yeah,
comment.
we're
One,
not. I don't want to. I don't want to. It
right.
ain't even worth addressing. So
It's not it at all, man. It's not it like I said, it's not it ain't even worth my time because there's so many other people that love you.
oh
You
man,
know,
yeah,
like you said, man, I'm not gonna worry about all the negative stuff that happened to me
no,
that day or someone that was rude to me or anything else. When I know I don't have them people don't live in my house, you know. Like I said, they don't pay my bills, you know. You got a wife that loves you, you got people that truly love
oh
you,
yeah, man.
and
I could
you
care
got
less.
the Lord that loves you, you know.
I laugh at the devil's face, man. I could
This
care
is yeah,
less.
laugh in the devil's face. And you know
It
what,
it
man?
don't bother me.
If
Shit.
God be if God be for you, who can be against you?
Oh yeah,
Honestly, if God be for you, who can be against you? You know, you
right.
say the Lord's name, man, the devil has to flee. You know, me and my wife both done it. Get out of my house. Get out of my life. Get out of my ear.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, I've done it. Man, no, you ain't gonna bother me with this. Get on with that yourself,
It don't
Satan.
exist. It
That's
don't
a
exist to me. It
yeah, me
literally
neither.
does not exist.
You know,
But all right. So this is what we're gonna do, guys. I've been on here a long time. I have to
yeah.
get home at some point.
Hey,
Um,
I've got to go too.
yeah.
Honestly, my wife's standing right here looking straight at me, you know, with a smile on her face
Hey,
because
lady. Hey. No.
I've got my grandkids coming in, and
Yeah.
we're
You're
supposed to
good.
go to. Yeah, we're going to the Air Force Museum.
Oh, that's so cool,
Um,
man. Yeah,
yeah,
that's awesome. Well, I'm gonna say one thing. I'm gonna say a couple things, guys. All right. So next week, what I'll do is I'll go live again, or maybe in the middle of the week, or we can save it till next week. There's some really cool comments that people left about their family legacies, about what they thought about the song or whatever. By the way, the runner up was Kimberly Deanie. Kimberly Deanie, I think was her name. She did a lot of comments as well. It was between her and Joe. It was Joe killed everybody. But anyway, so I love you guys. I hate to cut this short, but I've got to get
exactly.
home. I have a work thing tonight. I have to go to a work dinner. So look for some content on the channel for Johnny
Yeah,
Cash. I'm gonna do a little mini doc. Guys, one more time. My favorite person in this live today. I think I see stories. Somebody said their story earlier. Guys, let's do this. Let's go live every now and then. I want to hear some of your stories. There's a guy that
yeah,
shared
right.
earlier about being electrocuted and stuff, and then God saving him. So let's go live and let's talk about you guys' stories as well. Um, Libby, you win the internet today.
Yeah.
Joe won $50. Libby, you win the internet. Buckeye, thank you for sharing your story. It was incredible as well. Libby, God bless you. And you just you just changed me.
Hey,
You got me.
she brought me to
I
tears. She
I
has
don't.
before with her comments and being so kind, but after finding this out today, I mean, God bless your soul, sister. Honestly,
You know what? She didn't get on here. She didn't say. I never knew. It just blew my mind. I've never known. I would have never known that she was, paralyzed. She doesn't get
no,
on here and she doesn't ask for pity. She doesn't ask for money. She doesn't. Unbelievable. Libby, I'm a fan of Libby. Libby is an inspiration. She should be an inspiration to us all.
Oh, no
What's your
doubt.
excuse? What's your
Yeah, what's
excuse?
your excuse?
Give
Quit making
thanks.
excuses.
Give
Leave the
thanks to
swamp,
God.
come to the creek. Leave the
Libby,
swamp, come to the creek.
get out of the swamp. Come to the creek, guys. Libby left the swamp a long time ago. What's your excuse? That woman has every right to be upset in her life. And good Lord. God bless you. God bless you, Libby.
Hey, I love y'all, man. But
Yeah,
like I said, I got to go because I might see some aliens. Because during the Roswell crash, that's where they supposedly took the aliens was at Wright Patterson Air Force Base and hid them underground.
that's
So that's where we're going today. To take my grandkids and see some airplanes. So they're standing here waiting on me.
See some piglets.
all right, guys.
I love
Buckeye,
y'all. Appreciate you.
Buckeye and family. Love you guys. I'll see you guys next week. Love
Hey,
y'all.
this was one of the best ones, man.
Oh man.
This changed a lot of things for me.
Thank you, Libby.
On
Thank you, Buckeye, for sharing your stories.
Yeah, I love y'all. And I'll go back and read the comments because I didn't want to miss one. I love every one of you. We all do. We're
Yeah.
not ignoring anybody. We care about y'all.
Oh man.
And gotta go.
We'll read the comments next week. Bye. Get out of the swamp and come to the creek. Love y'all.
Love y'all.